We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard. Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
That
resources.
is not a question of how they had been. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the
Good camera.
inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean the National Guard.
We're going to come back to this in a
National
bit.
Guard there to begin with.
Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? Whose authority is it to deploy the National Guard? Who apparently, allegedly, according to testimony, offered? Doesn't matter. Let's play this out one more time. Like
They thought
script.
They had sufficient.
That is not a question of how they had been.
Why is Nancy Pelosi yelling at her? I presume her staffer. Like, why is she wearing a cloth mask? I mean, I guess we didn't know enough back in January 6, 2021, that masks did little, and the cloth masks didn't do less. They might have done other damage, but hold on.
I don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Oh, it's so beautiful, so selfless, so mature. Good morning. Is it morning? It is morning. Good morning, everybody. If I look haggard and tired, first of all, I might be, but the lighting is a little off because I've been hanging out with Lectern guy, Adam Johnson. We had a barbecue last night. We tasted some American single malt whiskey last night, and he slept in the studio last night. So the light, I now notice it is ricocheting off the wall, but it's good. It's a little more natural of a look, although my forehead is still shiny. It is still morning. Good morning from Nova Scotia, Tara Jennings. Oh my gosh, it is morning. Yeah, another 56 minutes, and it's no longer going to be morning, at least on the East Coast. Okay, everybody. Good morning. I take a day off again. I mean, a day off, it's not really a day off. After the Sunday show at 9:00 at night, I was like, how much news can happen between Sunday night and Monday to go for a stream? Kids are off school, so we went fishing. Those of you who are following us at vivabarneslaw.locals.com, you know that you're waiting happily for a catch and cook, because yesterday, let me just show you a picture. I caught the biggest peacock bass of my life right here, and it inhaled the hook down to its gullet, where I was like, this fish is probably not going to live. This fish is a beautiful size to eat, and we're going to do a catch and cook. And we did it. I have to edit it together. It's going to be beautiful. Same day, by the way, kid catches a good 2-pound bowfin, not a snakehead. Catches a bowfin, beautiful fish. And the same day, the other kid that we're fishing with hooks a monster knife clownfish, or the knife fish clownfish. It did not make it to shore, unfortunately. The problem with that fish is it's so big that the thrashing attracts the gator. And the gator got the clown knife fish as we tried to haul it around the main dock to bring it up and net it on the lower ground. And then as we did it, the gator follows us in, and we all flee, climb a bench, and watch, unfortunately, a beautiful gator enjoy a beautiful meal. Although the clown knife fish are allegedly an invasive species. So let's see that we're live across all platforms here. We should be live on Rumble, YouTube, vivabarneslaw.locals.com, and Twitter. Let me see here. We are live on Twitter. Very nice. Very nice. And we'll see if we're live. I'm using the correct mic. It's a miracle, says Ginger Ninja. Yeah, it defaulted back to the regular mic right before I got started. I'm going to check while listening to Nancy Pelosi's shrill, nasally voice that will echo through the ages. Let me make sure that I'm on the right mic, and I am. Let's see that we're on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Trump one is asking me if I practice casting with one hand, swapping the handle to the other side. No, I haven't. Hold on. Why am I not able to access vivabarneslaw.locals.com? Okay, hold on. Is it my internet or is it Viva Barnes Law that is lagging here? Hold on. Let me just go to Twitter. See, no, so Twitter is not lagging. vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Let me know. I can't. Oh, there we go. I'm in, and let me go into the chat and make sure that we're live across all of the, as Rob Gouveia says, all of the planes of the interwebs. Join stream. Ah oui donc. C'est un peu long ce matin. Qu'est-ce qui se passe ici? They're slowing us down because they know that we're going to talk about. It's not treason, technically, people, because we're not really at war with these countries. N. Spence in vivabarneslaw.locals.com says, I had trouble connecting this morning to Viva. Okay, so it might be slow with locals, but we are live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. We are live on Twitter. We are live on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. I'm saving a clip for when we go over to Rumble after voting with our feet and our eyeballs and leaving YouTube for a number of reasons, not because it violates the rules on YouTube, but because it contains a song. And because copyright trolling is what it is on YouTube, some jackass copyright troll is going to claim the entire video because we are watching and commentating on a video that requires analysis. I'm going to see if my last copyright dispute has been resolved yet. I challenged a copyright dispute over, I forget what it was. An analysis. We're covering a clip, and there might have been music in the background, and I get a copy claim that someone says, "Yeah, I own your entire stream because you analyzed a clip that had some audio." Yeah, copyright is still pending. Check this out here. This one right here. I forget what it was. Where Joe Biden's looking a little weird. Copyright. I dispute the copyright. We're going to watch it later, and we're going to look at this clip that. It makes the alleged Biden poopy D-Day inauguration gate look like, Rusty Walt. I claim fair use, and I claim fair use. And in the dispute, I submit to the YouTube overlords that it might actually be copyright abuse. That some jackass thinks they're going to claim a 2-hour stream or a 1-hour stream or whatever, because in the background you might be able to hear some audio while I am commentating on a video that is newsworthy, worthy of commentating. What happened to fair use? It's a feature, not a bug of YouTube. It's a very, very good way for copyright trolls to make a shit ton of money by abusively claiming videos because of incidental, ancillary, de minimis, or fair use. We'll get there. All right, people. So before we get into the topics of the day, there's going to be China and India taking over of Canadian politics. People had been messaging me again. This is sort of like the convoy sequence of events. Viva, you're not paying attention to the latest report from Canadian intelligence that says, China and India have basically infiltrated and compromised Canadian politics and Canadian politicians. First of all, it's not news to me, although the news released in this is damning like a mofo, and we're waiting for names to be released, although they're all being redacted for national security, because apparently it's national security interest to redact the names of compromised politicians as opposed to exposing them. We'll get there. But there's that. And then there's the new video of Nancy Pelosi that I didn't know we needed more responsibility. Who knew what was going to happen? It's not like we had that internal memo that Yogananda Pittman had since December 2020 talking about what was going to happen. It's not like we had FBI informants infiltrating the crowd. It's not like we knew anything. Oh, I'm so innocent and hands caught behind my pants. Okay, we'll get to that as well. Life can only be lived forwards, but must be... I'm an idiot. Life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forwards. Oh, but first, before we get into it, because when we're talking about corrupt governments screwing with our lives, our livelihoods, and our way of life, we're heading into an election. Will there be another event? What was the one that they were planning for back in December 2019? Event 201, whatever. Will there be another one? Who knows? But past this prologue. On April 23rd, media outlets began to flood headlines with the latest avian flu development. The FDA said, quote, it had detected viral particles of H5N1 avian influenza in milk purchased at grocery stores, end quote. While the FDA cautioned that they believe the milk is still safe to drink, others are sounding the alarm, according to news reports, quoting Dr. Eric Poole, founder of the Scripps Research Translational Institute. Translational Institute, said the finding of viral particles of milk grocery stores means that an outbreak might be more widespread than we know. It's amazing. There's going to be a 2024 outbreak, mail-in ballots and whomever. They can't play the exact same game twice, but they might try. The dissemination to cows is far greater than we've been led to believe, Topol said in an email Tuesday. Quote, the FDA assurance that the dairy supply is safe is nice, but it's not based on extensive assessment yet, which they acknowledge and won't engender trust and confidence because it comes in the wake of the USDA mishandling. Comes in the wake of no longer trust. I'm listening to Alex Jones's Great Awakening and the stats of people who no longer trust government, media, journalists, scientists, doctors at an all-time high. The chief medical board of the wellness company has been closely watching the avian flu H5N1 outbreak in the United States over the last few weeks. And while it is far from certain that this most recent strain of the bird flu will result in a pandemic, we know the medical tyrants are never going to be done with us. They will never be done with us. And with scientists still saying that the bird flu could be 100 times deadlier than COVID, and knowing it's an election year, Americans understand now more than ever that we need to be prepared. Do you have what your family needs in the event that they say you can't go into grocery stores or pharmacies, or you can't get what you need because of supply chains, because countries like India and China control not the vast majority, but it might be close to, but a national security level threat of medicines manufacturing? Well, get your contagion kit, people. The only one of its kind prescription contagion emergency kit from the wellness company provides you with carefully selected assortment of effective medications for bird flu, COVID-19, and other respiratory illnesses. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Plaque, Tamiflu, budesonide, I'm going to pronounce that one wrong. Budesonide, that's what it is. Along with a nebulizer so you can rest easy knowing that you have what you need, emergency meds on hand in the event that we get shut down. Yet again, it's backed by Dr. Peter McCullough, the wellness company's contagion kit is a must-have. It's not available in the United States. It's not available in Canada. Only available in the United States. If you go to twc.health/Viva, you'll save $30 and you'll get free shipping. The link is in the description. Thank you very much. The Wellness Company must-have. So, getting started. Topic number one. Which one do we start with? I guess we're going to start with Nancy Pelosi. Alrighty. A clip. I mean, there's so many questions I have, and I point the finger a lot at Democrats, at least, the Democrats or Democrats in disguise. Not Nancy Pelosi, Liz Cheney, the other guy, Adam Kinzinger. We are living through times where, literally up is down, left is right, and pride, which used to be a sin, is now a virtue. Hold on, this is off topic, but Vinny Oshana posted this, and it's quite amazing. I get now, I'm thick sometimes and dense when Jordan Peterson put out one of his many tweets that got him in trouble with the Order of Psychologists in Canada. He said it used to be that pride used to be a sin, and now we have people celebrating sin, and you have some medical doctor, that medical monster, what do you call them, a criminal medical doctor who cut off the breasts of Ellen Page. And then he gets in trouble for that. I understand it now. This is a church, and I understand I'm not a religious person and certainly not a religious Christian or Catholic. I remember the 7 deadly sins from that movie 7. Anyway, Vinny puts up this post. It's wild. Is there audio on this?
Hollywood and Highland.
Yeah, there is audio.
So I'm in Hollywood, on Hollywood and Highland, and this is the Hollywood United Methodist Church, and they have a LGBTQAI plus LMNOPQZYX flag in front of the church. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
Well, I'd say it's not even.
So I'm in Hollywood.
It's not even in front of the church. It's on the church. And Vinny, it's the 2S LGBTQIA plus flag. I've learned that from watching Herr Trudeau. It used to be that pride used to be a sin. And I understand the distinction. Gad Sad talked about it with Rogan. In English, we don't have a distinction between good sin and bad sin. In French, we do. Fierté is good pride. Orgueil is bad pride, sinful pride. We don't have that distinction. But you have the pride flag. It's called the pride flag, the 2S LGBTQIA plus flag. We don't know what the plus incorporates. I think the A is it the A asexual? 2. That's the 2 spirit. 2S is the native trans up in Canada. 2S, LGBT, we got that. Q, we got that. I, intersex, LGBTQIA. A, I believe, is asexual, and the plus is everything else. So you don't have to put in the P. as some people jokingly said, but we're not far off from that Babylon Bee headline becoming reality. You got this in front of a church. And the question is, at what point in time does is it the no true Scotsman fallacy? I mean, like, at what point in time do you say, okay, they're purporting to be people of the book, religious people, supporting the Bible, while simultaneously, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I understand that homosexuality has been a sin in the Bible, and that you have your reasons of nature for that. You can't breed and reproduce and be fruitful and multiply if you can't be fruitful, if you can't multiply. And so I can understand that. But then you can also understand, look, okay, these are people's individual choices, doesn't concern anybody else. Live and let live. Then you can understand the argument, well, they want the same government entitlements as a married couple, but then you have the religious people saying, don't give it the term marriage, because marriage is a union between a man and a woman as per the Bible. Call it civil union like we do up in Quebec, but grant them the same government tax benefits, rights. Let them, as the joke goes, screw up their lives as much as married people. I don't adhere to that joke because I think marriage is still a thing of beauty. Okay. At one point do you say that these priests, that these pastors, I don't know what the word is, are no longer meaningfully practicing the word of the religion? I don't know. I would say maybe at a point when they start valorizing and lionizing things which were traditionally against the religion. I say that without judgment. I'm not. I don't abide by all practices of all religions, but we understand what they were. And not even that. Even if the church comes out and says, "Okay, we'll tolerate it, like we'll celebrate, we'll treat it like marriage," okay. To come out and then say we're going to put the pride flag, which is about sexual practices, which is about sexual preferences, sexual proclivities, we're going to drape this on our church. At what point do you say, well, okay, this is no longer religion. You are no longer practicing the religion you purport to be practicing. The hell was the segue into this? How did I get distracted by this? We were talking about Nancy Pelosi. I forget what the hell I was going to say. Oh, yes, that's right. It's Democrats. It's Republicans pretending to be Republicans when they are actually Democrats. So Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are to the Republican Party what I would argue pastors, priests, other figures are when they come out and say, we're draping the pride flag on our church, but we are religious people and we are abiding by the dictates of the religion. Okay. So the news that broke the other day is that there's a small clip of Nancy Pelosi taking responsibility for the events of January 6th. And we opened the show with the clip. I'm going to play it again. And I've got many a question, which we're going to get into right now. Let's just we'll play it one more time so we can know what we're talking about.
We have responsibility, Terry.
First of all, we have responsibility, Terry. Let me just make sure I'm reading from the script, Terry. This sounds scripted, staged. When you know there's a camera on you all day long, first of all, why the hell were they documenting this? Like, this is like documenting the Alex Jones trial via that judge. Are we going to see Nancy Pelosi at like the premiere of any behind the scenes of January 6th? All Donald Trump's fault. Either way, okay. So she had cameras on her all day, and she knows it damn well because she's an actress of a politician. It doesn't matter, Terry. Here.
We have responsibility, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff?
You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff? What the hell is Nancy even talking about? But I like it. We have responsibility. You're right. It's almost as though, just floating this there, it's almost as though one of you had the authority to call in the National Guard that was, according to Kash Patel in his testimony, offered to you by the president, Trump. It's almost like you had the authority to do it, and you didn't do it. Pull a little PewDiePie. I wonder why that might be.
Should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Good question, Nancy. Did you offer an answer to the committee? Oh, because Donald Trump didn't call in the National Guard, even though he doesn't have the authority to call the National Guard and deploy them over D.C. in the absence of a request from the authorities of D.C. And who might that have been? Yogananda Pittman, the other guy there. I'm forgetting one other guy's name. Has an S in it. The chat will get it. Or you, Nancy Pelosi. It's almost like after the summer of love, where cities burnt, people were murdered. Oh, we'll put up bike racks at January 6th. We don't know what's happening. I mean, we only have FBI informants infiltrating the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys. We have our own agents on the ground. They won't tell us how many informants or confidential human sources or assets they had on the ground. They won't tell us that. They had no idea, except people applied for protest permits and were issued protest permits. Mainstream media for the week leading up to January 6th were talking about the protest permits that had been issued. The memo, the infamous memo that Yogananda Pittman had as of December, detailing alleged plans. How did we not have them? Either you're totally incompetent and detached and have no idea what's going on, Nancy Pelosi, or you are a lying scoundrel of the highest order who allowed this to happen, who made this happen, a LIHOP or MEHOP. And now, for a brief moment in time, you thought this was going to be the narrative. Listen to this.
They thought that they had sufficient
No,
resources.
there's not a question of how they have, but they don't know.
You know what she reminds me
They
of?
clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
You know, it reminds me of that scene from Uncle Buck when Uncle Buck is getting chewed out by the nasty teacher, and she's like, she's a diddleheart. She doesn't take a thing in her career as a student seriously. And then Uncle Buck says, she's only 6. It's like, I hear that every day. And that's what Nancy Pelosi reminds me of. Well, I take responsibility. This is the day of, this is after the poo-poo has hit the fan, and the poo-poo hitting the fan in this case was pretty mild, save and except for Ashley Babbitt, who was summarily executed by Officer Byrd, who was hailed as a hero, save and except for Roseanne Boyland, who was beaten, trampled to death, and then they covered up her death and said it was as a result of a medical emergency from drug issues, even though apparently the drugs that they said that she was taking were prescription and not what typically people regard as illegal drugs. They're in the car, and at that point in time, you got like these scheming Democrats saying, what is going to be the narrative? Well, we're politicians, and we had this breach under our watch. So the responsible thing for me to do as a leader, says Nancy Pelosi in that moment, is take responsibility for it. How did we not know? Good question. Why wasn't the National Guard deployed? Good question. Why weren't Capitol Police fully staffed? Good question. Why didn't we have more than bike racks when we had seen what happened barely 6 to 8 months earlier? Good question. And she thought for that very moment, the narrative of a responsible politician was going to be Nancy Pelosi taking responsibility for not having prepped enough. And then they said, holy shit, no, forget that. New narrative, people, scrub it. Insurrection. Donald Trump ordered them to go. They came to kill us. That's the narrative. And then that clip gets buried. My question to that clip, hold on a second. Was it in this one? My question in that clip, did the Kangaroo Court Committee hear that clip? I mean, why wasn't that in their Hollywood director prepared montage? Was that clip included? Because I didn't see it. So I tweeted out. It's oversight. It was the oversight committee that tweeted it. Okay, that's fine. What's their role in this? The oversight committee, the oversight subcommittee, committee on the House Administration Subcommittee Oversight, GOP, Loudermilk. Barry Loudermilk has been the only one who's been meaningfully vocal about this, as far as I know. Since Jan 6, Nancy Pelosi spent 3+ years and nearly $20 million creating a narrative to blame Donald Trump. New footage shows new footage. Well, who is it new to, actually? It's new to us. If like Charles Manson out of that episode of The Family Guy. If I haven't seen it, it's new to me. It's new to us. Is it new to the committee? Is it new to Adam Kinzinger? Is it new to Liz Cheney? And why was it not included, disclosed to the public in the 3 years of that kangaroo court sham of a committee? Did Liz Cheney see that video at any point in time? Did Adam Kinzinger? Why aren't they being brought up before a Senate hearing, a congressional oversight hearing, whatever the hell those things are? I mean, even if it's for show, bring them up. Jim Jordan, you can give him a good grilling. I got my questions. Did you ever see that video? And it's a damned if you do, damned if you didn't. Yeah, we saw it. Well, why the hell didn't you tell us? No, we didn't see it. Why the hell didn't you see it? What was this committee? Was it a kangaroo court committee or was it a looking for truth and justice committee? They all knew. There's not a question about it. They all knew. And they crafted and drafted that narrative with actual malice to frame a president, to interfere with an election, to enable mass surveillance of ideological adversaries in order to criminalize, demonize, and not institutionalize. What's the word when you lock people up? Penitentiarize. You know what I mean? Like to lock people up, their ideological adversaries, to create an environment where people are now quite literally fearful to protest, to exercise their God-given constitutional right to protest, freedom of assembly. Because who the hell knows? Retroactively, it gets transformed into bullshit insurrection and they get locked up for a long, long time. I had Adam Johnson was over. I mean, he's over. He slept over. We're talking. It's like, there are some faces who become more prominent figureheads, symbols of this January 6th insurrection. And then there's others who people don't know about. And the injustices that have been perpetrated against hundreds of people, resulting in, what was it? Was it Joe Biden who was so happy about it? Like 894 man years behind bars. It's absolutely outrageous. And it's like, it's not about what people know. It's about when people learn it. Now, none of this surprises me. I mean, first of all, that's like the tip of the iceberg of the incriminating evidence that they did not disclose to us. Did they delete any of that evidence? Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger. I got that question for you. When they deleted what they no longer needed in that committee, did they delete any exculpatory evidence that they withheld from the general public while they were editing their Stanley Kubrick-esque edited montage that they ran committee hearing after committee hearing? We all know what they did. And let me rephrase that. Those who have been paying attention know what they did. And now this drip of information, when the public is fatigued with this, is how they get it out so that in a decade's time, they could say, well, we reported that. I mean, yeah, sure, we reported it 3 years after concealment of it, but we reported it and people just weren't interested because they were fatigued. They were irritated. They were brainwashed to the point where they can see that and say, nope, January 6th was still an insurrection. Let me see something here. Oh, Lordy. So that's the latest to come into the January 6th committee. What do I have a tweet from? Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, let me play this from Adam Johnson. Yeah. This is Lectern guy, the man who was maliciously prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and who is now closely following the trial of the Capitol police officer, the Department of Justice, the police officer who prosecuted him to the fullest extent of the law, who wanted him locked down on ankle bracelet, who's now on video stabbing someone in their car after a road incident on a Florida highway. Yeah, this is it. This man was locked in solitary for 70 plus days. This man has had his life turned upside down, was demonized as public enemy number one because he took a picture with a lectern. And by the way, I've got to auction off one of these because he gave me one, and I've got a second one to auction off and donate to a worthy cause of the Jan 6 plight. I need the locals community to tell me the best way to auction this, the most effective way. I don't want to use eBay. I might have to use eBay, but I got to auction that off, and I want to see how much we can get it gone for. So this man had his life ruined, turned upside down. They attempted to bankrupt him through legal proceedings, turned him into a pariah because he took a picture with the lectern and moved it about 20 feet or 20 meters. I don't know what the threshold was, where they charged him with theft of government property, forced him into a plea deal, which in retrospect probably worked out in his best interest, at least compared to the shitty alternatives. The man who prosecuted him, who was in charge of his malicious prosecution, has now been arrested and is awaiting trial for stabbing someone with a pocket knife after a traffic incident.
Well, all right. The preliminary thing is over. We are looking at a December trial, and defense is asking for a 4-day trial because they are worried they're going to have a hard time finding a jury that doesn't know who he is and have some type of bias because, get this, there's been a lot of publicity surrounding his case. Now, I'd like to think that I've done my part making sure that happens, and I don't think I'm going to stop, because every single J6er out here has had the news drag all of them through the mud. They've had all their cases in DC. There has been no unbiased juries for any of us. So I'm not going to stop. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to make this my new thing. So thanks for joining me this morning, and we're going to have a great time following this together.
And I'll tell you one thing.
All right.
Adam Johnson may be one of the, not one of the few, but he's one of the people who is indistinguishable in real life from on the interwebs. Sometimes it's a bit of a persona. Adam Johnson is, I don't know how he is so chill in general, and certainly after what he's been through. I don't know that I would be. Look, shitballs. I just dropped a lot of stuff here. Hold on. Oh, cripe almighty. Well, it seems I might have just broken my GoPro. Hold on. Okay, well, it's not going to be waterproof anyway. Damn it. I'm not chill. I've never been accused of being chill. I've never been accused of also being different in person than on camera. But Adam Johnson is not just chill, relaxed, circumspect, and introspective on the interwebs. He's that way in real life. And it's amazing. We were sitting there talking and walking my dogs last night, or we got Pudge in a towel under her waist, and we got Winston walking into stuff because he's a blind dingbat. And we're talking. It's like, he's a good man. But the man who prosecuted him, who wanted him, he got him locked up for a fair bit of time, solitary confinement, ankle bracelet. He can't make a living for 5 years, I believe, as of his plea deal, for a non-violent gag where he wasn't actually even seriously contemplating stealing anything. The guy prosecuting him stabbed someone. Like apparently it made the news. I don't know what the guy's name is, and I don't care. But there was a guy who had a medical emergency in a car. Unclear as to what the nature of it was. This guy gets out of his car, either busts the window or pries open the window, and stabs a man with a pocket knife. And the video's out there. It's effing wild. These are the psychopaths who were at the helm of the prosecutorial ship that put people like good Adam Johnson in solitary for months. And then you got your compromised, filthy rich Nancy Pelosi in a car. Wait, why didn't we have the National Guard? Good question, Iachbe. I got that same question. Can you sit down and answer that? Why it wasn't called? Because Trump didn't call it in. Nope, not his authority. And if he had called it in, you would have accused him of staging the military coup that you were predicting he was going to do. Invade and occupy DC had he called in the National Guard without it being requested by DC. It's amazing. Diabolical scoundrels is what they are. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they want to damn you. And if you become their political adversary, they will do everything they can to damn you. And they've got the media, they've got big tech, they've got the government there to lead that malicious prosecutorial ship to damn you to solitary. Lordy, lordy. Okay. Now, before we go to, we're going to go over to Rumble for a second. I wanted to put this on blast. I mean, this one got mildly good engagement. I feel bad. It's not parasitism because I'm not stealing it from Defiant L, and I put it on blast, and I guess I should be happy about that. Defiant L's, they had their own L with their attempt to define L Charlie Kirk, in my humble opinion. But forget that. This was beautiful. Mwah! Think of beauty. Let me go in here so we don't spoil the punchline. What month is that? It's either February 8th or August 2nd, 2018. There is a true, quote, enemy of the people, end quote. His address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This is Lawrence Tribe, Harvard professor, legal scholar extraordinaire, calling Trump enemy of the people. In quotes, there is a true, quote, enemy of the people, end quote. His address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. For those of you non-Americans who don't know what address that is, or you haven't seen the movie with Wesley Snipes, that's the White House. Oh, what does he have to say later? Oh, so it's January, February. So it was August 8th. So February 23rd, 2024, calling your political adversaries enemies of the people is a typical first step for tyrants who aim ultimately to silence or exterminate all who resist their rule. The Jewish law professor is dropping the E-bomb. Exterminate. Calling your political adversaries enemies of the people is a typical first step for tyrants who aim to ultimately silence or exterminate. Got to throw in that Holocaust ish rhetoric. All who resist their rule. We've got to nip this terrifying move in the bud. Interesting, Lawrence. Is that to say then, let me just see, did I close my, is that to say then that when you referred to Trump as enemy of the people, that was the typical first step to exterminating those who resist your democratic rule? Methinks it was. Congratulations, Lawrence Tribe. You are what you accuse others of being, the iron law of woke leftist projection. Oh, all right. Let me see what's going on here. Did we miss? We got some. Okay, we're gonna do a few things before we head on over to Rumble because I don't want to play the video here. The first thing we're gonna do, by the way, is as we prepare for the populist uprising, the global populist uprising, which is actually the biggest threat to the globalist agenda. I'm really starting to sound like Alex Jones, people. He's rubbed off on me. I listened to The Great Awakening. I had him on the channel, and now, gosh darn it, I realized that he was more right than wrong, save and except for that one thing that they issued a $1.5 billion judgment against him. There is a populist people uprising across the world. We've seen it in Europe, Argentina, and it scares the living bejesus out of the globalists, out of the the New World Orderists, out of the Justin Trudeaus of the world, out of the Joe Bidens of the world. What comes before the 1776, people? Oh, you know it, and it tastes delicious. It's 1775 coffee. The second sponsor for today's show, something I love, something I use. I mean, I drink my coffee, and it's freaking delicious. Oh, and it's going to segue perfectly because we're going to talk about Sleepy Joe. Are you a Sleepy Joe with zero cognitive performance? Scared of walking upstairs without being worried you're going to fall down or up the stairs? Joe Biden, the only president known to have fallen upstairs. It's happened to me once. It's never happened to me. I'm joking. Do you struggle to muster the focus and brain power for the basic things in life, such as eating ice cream, riding a bike, or standing up during an inauguration ceremony? You need to stop drinking woke liberal coffee. Start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. It's delicious. It's the best tasting coffee you'll ever have. It's not just that it's good. It is the coffee, the company that's creating a parallel economy that we all know we need. Don't give your money to the people who hate you in as much as humanly possible. It's not just good, parallel economy. It's grown, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountain farms of Bolivia. So don't drink the pesticide-laden crap coffee from Starbucks, even though every now and again I have to do it and I hate it. I hate myself for it because I need the coffee, and it's either that or McDonald's, and they're all crap. Get your 1775, support free speech, support a company that supports free speech, support a company that respects its customers, clients, and respects their business. 1775 coffee, order yours right now. Promo code VIVA gets you 10% off your first order, so make it a big one. Medium, dark, pea berry, pick one. You won't regret it for a moment. Level up your morning routine with a bag of 1775 coffee. Sleep well at night knowing your hard-earned dollars are going towards a company that supports free speech, freedom-loving creators like me, not the woke mob. And by the way, the link is in the description. Stay tuned because there's going to be a massive whopper of an interview coming tomorrow. I might be driving 3.7 hours to get there and 3.7 hours to get back. I'm doing it. So stay tuned. I have to get the confirmation that I can announce it. And when I do, I will. Let me see something here. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, can I make the public announcement of the interview ? Stay tuned. People, let me do the super chats, the Rumble rants, the tips in our locals, and then we're going to go over to Rumble. Crash Prone says, in a presidential debate between Biden and Winston, who would be your favorite? And would the loser just be the first one to shit themselves? Well, if it's the first one to shit themselves, we might have to throw Pudgeon because that would be the coin flip. Winston is pretty good. He holds it in. Although every now and again he leaves a little beautiful treasure in the house. That was from Crash Prone. Thank you very much. The J Spec says, hello from the UK. Been watching for a long time. First time I've been able to catch you live. Did you see how quickly Pelosi got on TV to try to spin the leak? She really is TDS patient zero. No, they get caught in a lie. She probably forgot she even said that. It's like, this is what happens when you are constantly acting, when you are constantly inauthentic. You need to worry about things that you said. I don't need to worry about anything that someone might have caught on camera, except maybe for me being impatient. I'm a little bit, every now and again, more impatient than I want to be, or more, what's the word? Not impatient, but rather not jittery, not high anxiety. Well, high anxiety, but there's a word for it. I forget what it is now. Cripe, it'll get to me. But I don't have to worry about lying. I don't have to worry about a defiant L finding a tweet that I made a while back and then juxtaposing it with the diametrically opposite philosophical, political, ideological statement. It won't happen unless there's been an evolution. I don't even think I was tweeting out when I was a staunch supporter of the death penalty, but I used to be a staunch supporter of the death penalty. And then I realized how effing corrupt the government is. And I realized, in as much as ideally, in perfect knowledge, perfect world, I would support the death penalty, I don't support anything the government would give them the ultimate ultimatum over the life of another. But it's like Nancy Pelosi, she can't keep up with the freaking lies. And they have to keep spinning the stress and the terror that must create in terms of a life. Ken Davis, I listen to you a lot, so no question. You simply need a bit of recompense. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Viva. Thank you, Ken. Well, it's especially stressful now that the summer out, the kids are out, and it's endless. And the kid did not capture the moment the alligator got the fish yesterday because we were fleeing for our lives. Quite funny. Okay, now, hold on. We're going to go to Rumble and see what we have over there. Yes, look at this. Ginger Ninja in the house. Hey, you're using the correct mic. It's a miracle. Ginger Ninja. Something is similar between Adam Johnson and Viva Frei. I shall dub it Liberty Locks. It henceforth has been named. Liberty Locks is not bad. Ginger Ninja, I lost a big big bet Hunter verdict. Hold on. What do you mean? Is there a Hunter verdict out right now? Fox News.
I was stuck at
all
183
Damn it!
despite having my daily call.
Oh, darn it.
This new morning call.
Well, okay, well, I lost. My prediction did not come to fruition. See, that's the thing now. I've gotten overly cynical. It overrode my good legal sense. Oh, interesting. That's quick. Hunter found guilty on all counts in gun crime trial. Well, cue up the pardon. I don't think they can pardon him. Holy cows. All right, Ginger, thank you. Big bet. Yeah, we got that. Tyson Hockley. I remember you, Tyson. How you doing? Hey, Viva, I'm not sure if you remember. Of course I remember you, Tyson. The good Canadian kid got in trouble for being a good Canadian kid. I came on your podcast about a year ago. I would be honored to come on again. I have a lot to say. Please follow me back so I can DM you. Hockley Tyson. Well, I can tell you one thing, Hockley, or Tyson. I was following you because I believe, hold on, I'm going to go to Twitter. And if it unfollowed me, Hockley Tyson. Oh, see, it definitely unfollowed me. All right, man, I followed you back. Let me just go to our DMs because I thought we had DM'd each other. All right, Tyson, we'll talk. I definitely remember you. Finboy Slick says, I prepared a special surprise for Luke to celebrate your appearance on the best political show might show in locals later if you're up for it. That's from Finboy, who is the master of AI-generated images. Schmickle says, is this something a Canadian citizen can do to fight back on the treason? It's not treason. I put it in quotes, and I'm being glib with the use of it because we're not at war technically, and I don't think it fits as treason. Sedition? How about just treasonous? It's treasonous if not an actual crime of treason. Section 3.3, the Director of Public Prosecutions Act, 5.9. We'll have a look at that over on the Rumble side of this. And then we got King of Biltong. Good morning from Anton's meet. Oh, what time is it? You're still morning there, King of Biltong, although you're in Texas, so you're an hour earlier. Good morning from Anton's Meet and Eat. 10% off with code VIVA10 for your Biltong on www.biltongusa.com and antonusa.com for purchases qualified for free shipping. Else use code VIVA for free shipping. King of Biltong, thank you very much. Okay, let's do it. We're moving on over. We're moving on over to Rumble. Let me see what we got here. Okay, good. Here and here. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're going to vote with our feet, vote with our dollar, and go to the platform that respects us, our business, and our God-given rights to freedom of speech. And yes, I know it's a company and they don't have to. Okay, link to Rumble. Here it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, hold on a second. I said I would do the tipped questions in vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Schnookums, $1 tip says, at 21, Viva, stop calling them bicycle racks at January 6th. They are called French barricades, like a Maginot line. Bike racks, dude. I know what a bike rack is when I see one. And then we got Roostang, breaking Hunter Biden guilty of felony gun charges, faces 25 years in prison. Hunter Biden has become the first child of a sitting president to stand trial and be convicted after a jury found him guilty on felony gun charges. New York Post headline. Now they got their quid pro quo tit for tat. Well, now the jury system works, so you can't complain about Trump's bullshit conviction out of New York because Hunter Biden was convicted in Delaware. Holy crab apples. All right. We are ending on YouTube. Come on over to Rumble or come on over directly to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We're going to have an after show, and it's going to be fantastic. All right, ending on YouTube. I will put the entire stream on Viva Clips afterwards. I think people are getting wind to that. I should probably make a better announcement or a better system. Post the entire stream to Viva Clips, and I'll post some shorter vlogs on Viva Frei. And on Rumble, Viva Frei. Twitter, the Viva Frei. Put the entire stream up there afterwards as well, replays. And vivabarneslaw.locals.com. We have an amazing after party.